What's going on, people? Hope you're well. We're back. Lee Judges is back. How was Dubai, sir? How was
Ah,
Dubai?
fantastic! I tell you what, I've come back now. It's been bloody freezing since I've come back. Like, I haven't been out to show off the tan at all, Dan. You know what I mean?
Well, you come dressed as a Blackpool fan, mate. What's happening with all this orange? I mean, what's going
Oh yeah, I've been tango today, you know what I mean? So,
on?
but,
Have a nice time, though, yeah?
fantastic. Probably had the best. If you can't go to the game, probably had the second best thing, to watch the game, like Liverpool versus Arsenal with Steven Gerrard. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Talk, man. Talk. We need
Yeah,
to know. We need to know what's been going on.
listen,
I mean, it's not every day you drink with footballers, but when you pick a footballer of the Premier League era, you got one of the best there, haven't you? Crikey.
without a doubt. You know what I mean? He's been, forget his Liverpool figures. He's one of my favourite midfield players.
Same.
You know what I mean? And our midfield players should play. You know what I mean? Or add it all. And so we got there, and we was told that he was in the hotel. So you're thinking it's quite a big hotel, and then all of a sudden we went for Italian, and three tables along, he's sitting there with his family and all that. Like, oh no, it's Steven Gerrard, and
Just in an Italian restaurant randomly.
no, it's in one of the it's a Italian restaurant.
So it's in
in
your
the
hotel. Right,
Yeah.
she's staying in your hotel. Okay.
Yeah, he's staying in our actual hotel, So I was sitting there for, I really love to be able to go and just say hello to him or something like that. So Michelle says, well, I'll go. And so I say, no, don't disturb him. So she's gone over, you know what I mean? And said, Lee, even though Lee's a mad Arsenal fan, would you mind coming, if you're all right to come and say hello? He goes, yeah, tell him to come over. So I come over and ended up having a real good chat with him. Told him that we're friends with Kevin Campbell, and told the Kevin Campbell and Steven Gerrard incident, when Steven got sent off for a bad tackle on and he told that story. He said, oh, they're he's a unit, and I'd done him badly with bad tackle, and then went into the toilets after the game. That was in the nightclub or something in Liverpool, and Kevin's in there, and he goes, oh no, I thought I was going to get done. He says to his mate, oh God, I thought he was going to do me because he's a unit and everything like that. He just turned around and said, hello Stephen, how are you? And he actually put it in his book, apparently, that story. And so he turns around and says, give Kevin my regards and all that. Such a nice bloke. And then he turns around, Dan, and says, you watching the game Sunday? So I said, yeah, definitely. So he says, well, watch it in the bar with us, you know what I mean? So we'll see you in the bar and we'll watch it, And gets down there on the Sunday, and here we are. Was all the Liverpool fans on one side, all the Arsenal on the other. It was tremendous banter. We're giving it to them, they're giving it to us, and in the end, it was obviously disappointing we didn't win it, and we ended up shaking hands and having a laugh, and then seeing breakfast the next morning. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Lee. You know what I mean? And he said two good things. He said got a lot of time for Arsenal, just like Liverpool. They're an institute. And I love that word. You know what I mean? I loved it. And we was in breakfast the other day. This is how good he is, Dan. He was in breakfast, and this fella, and he must get it all the time. A fella comes up and says, "Oh, my son likes come have a photo." He says, "Yeah, send him over, and I'll have a photo with him." But his mate comes in then and says, and they've had a chat, and they go. And as he's going, he realises that he'd promised this kid a photo, you know what I mean? So he went back.
Wow.
Went back to the table that they were sitting on and had the photo. It's just unbelievable. What an absolute gentleman of a bloke, you know what I mean? He really was, you know what I mean? He was funny, good laugh, loves his football. He was watching, he's walked past his games on Man United 11. He's there watching them, connoisseur of football, but genuinely a fantastic footballer. But what more importantly, what a lovely fella, you know what I mean? And made the holiday really. I've got to say that, it was a great holiday. But when you think of footballers, and like John Barnes was there, Teddy Sheringham was there, they're players, but they're doing the football thing,
All right, yeah.
But and they're listen, they're great players. Don't get me wrong, but Steven Gerrard, I think he's one of the the Premier League greats. He's right up there, I think.
I agree, yeah.
Incredible.
Story,
lovely.
What did he think of the game?
Well, I'll tell you what, he turned around and said Arsenal were a bloody good team. He said, right, you know, Arsenal were a really, really good team. And he actually did say, he goes, Anfield, you know, like playing at Anfield. Great to get a little bit of perspective of it all. Like he said, playing at Anfield's different, really, like, you know, to playing anywhere else. Yeah, it was, you know, listen, we could have won it, could have lost it, couldn't we? You know, I think that he knew that. And I think in the end of the day, Aaron Ramsdale, damn well, what a couple of saves at the end. And,
it was, man. But listen, if you're going to pick any game to watch with a Liverpool ex-player, you're going to go for Steven Gerrard, aren't you? So fair play to him.
I think so. You know what I mean? Like, I think so. I was fortunate enough last season to be out there, and Robbie Fowler was out there. So we watched the Man City Liverpool semi-final. We know it was 3-0 to Liverpool in the semi-final. He was, and like, you know, Robbie Fowler's a god. You know what I mean? He's right up there. But like, I went one notch up. Then I went one notch up. Like, you know what I mean?
If I could have a chance, I'd meet Gerrard over Fowler.
I think out of all the Liverpool players,
he's the number one for me.
Yeah, I think that he's up there. Kenny Dalglish, maybe. But if I had to say, if you asked me to pick a Liverpool player that I would like to talk to and spend a little bit of time with, I would have said Steven Gerrard. And I tell you what, he never disappointed, Dan. He was absolutely spot on. Like, he was a right good guy. And what made it even brilliant was one of his mates that he was out there with was a big Arsenal fan. Yep. So it was great, you know what I mean? And we had great banter, lovely. I can't speak highly enough of him, like, you know what I mean? Not just as a footballer, but as a person. He was just, you know, like, he had it with everybody, you know what I mean? He was sitting, but he never one of those people, Dan, that, I'm going to sit in a corner and be a superstar or whatever. Like, he just was an ordinary guy in the main pool. If kids come up to him and ask for a photo, he done it. I just can't, you know, speak highly enough of him, like, you know. So top guy.
Yeah, fair play, man. Great when you meet people and they don't let you down. I always think.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You know, even if they're not heroes of yours, because Gerrard's not an hero, is he? Of our Arsenal's, but he's
no.
You look up to him and think, wow, what a player! Unreal, you know, unreal.
He's a few problems, but
oh god, yeah, he did. He was. I tell you what, though, I always think there's players that I should hate, but I don't hate, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, really.
Yeah, but, I know exactly what you mean.
You know, I always thought Ryan Giggs used to tear us apart, but I couldn't help but appreciate how fucking good he was. You know, if players like Eric Cantona was another one. Yeah. You know what I mean? I should hate people like that, but I don't. You know.
No, Eric Cantona. That's a player I'd like to meet.
Yeah, honestly,
think like Man United players that, like, you know, I think probably like Eric Cantona would be the one for me. Like, you know, I never liked Man United, but the thing about him I liked. You know what I mean? So
that's another good show, isn't it? Players that you should hate but you like. There you go. You can make
we'll do that. Like players that you shouldn't like. Yeah, you know, of teams that you've hated in the past. You know what I mean? Like. You know, I'll be honest. I hate, like someone said there, I hated Robbie Fowler when he played for Liverpool against us because he always got goals, and you know, like off
that hat trick he scored against.
Yeah, off his shin or whatever, like. And you know, but when then I met him, he was another really nice guy. Do you know what I mean? And you think, well, I can't hate him no more. I'm running out of people to hate, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you one person that if I met and it was on the holiday and I wouldn't say hello to him, Harry bloody Kane. I wouldn't like him, like, you know what I mean? I can't. He's N6 the other day. That game against Brighton, by the way. Oh my
Robbery,
God.
Wasn't it?
What was I watching there? What was I watching?
Robbery, mate. Robbery.
What a daylight robbery, wasn't it?
It's daylight robbery. Like, someone has actually, Lee, put a reel together of everything that went wrong in that game. It's half hour long. I mean, honestly, it is absolutely shambolic.
I could not believe what I was seeing. You know what I mean? I didn't actually see it live. I see like the highlights on Match of the Day. I can't believe what I'm seeing. How have they not give that a penalty? How have they not give that a penalty?
I must say, like, that was the one I didn't get. Because you could say, referees, like, what's he seen there type thing for the handballs and all that. But that penalty, I mean, it's absolute stonewall, isn't it? I mean, it's not even half a penalty. It's like absolute blatant. I didn't think the Danny Welbeck goal. I'm still looked at it thinking it's hit his hip and gone in, and they reckon that's handball. Mitoma, that's not handball. Sorry,
No, that was
that's the
never a
joke, isn't it?
handball.
So I look at it and I think, the thing is, they haven't picked up a point here, Tottenham. They've picked up all bloody 3 points.
Oh, it's
a
unbelievable.
joke, isn't it?
Right, talk about rub salt in the wounds. And do you remember when we played Brentford and there was an handball on there and they said, oh, no, it's his sleeve thing and all that. Like, well, if you're not giving that and then you see a penalty like that, ridiculous. And I'm going to have to say, I don't know what you think about it, Dan, but how's that a penalty against Arsenal and all that? I really don't know,
Oh, what, the holding one?
Oh, I'll tell you, that's never a penalty.
Jota knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? Good old Tierney, can't wait to give it that slag. I'll tell you, you know what I mean? Like, you think about it, Granit Xhaka's been blamed for a little bit. Like, if he does the proper thing, the referee, and gives the free kick, which it is, we get a free kick and
no one
nothing comes of that.
No one mentioned that. Yeah, that is
true.
No
one mentions that.
That is true.
But he doesn't give that, but he can give that penalty, though. Look, I'll tell you what, you know what I mean?
He couldn't wait to give it, Lee. Couldn't wait to give it.
Couldn't wait to give it against Spurs. How many more times we've got to put up with that piece of shit as a referee, you know what I mean? Really, I can't stand the bloke. And I'll tell you, he's another one. If I was in the swimming pool playing water polo, I'd drown him, I would, you know what I mean? Be pulling him down by his ankles. Tierney, you slag! You know what I mean? But
it's the remember we used to have them, didn't we? Like Mike Riley and Andy D'Urso. Remember him, Andy D'Urso? Oh, geez.
Oh my God, we've had some poor ones.
I'll tell you a funny story, right? And this is God's honest truth. Do you know quiz machines in like the pubs and all that used to get, right? I don't really see them anymore. There's a quiz. Yeah, I did. There's a quiz question years ago. We're talking like 2008, 2009. Do you remember when Sol Campbell went mental at the Arsenal and he went AWOL at Highbury? We lost 3-2 to West Ham. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So the question was, what was rumoured that Sol Campbell had stormed off, and it was his father had passed away at that time, which is actually the correct answer. He'd had to get home after injury, or injured himself or something like that. And the other one, and this is God's honest truth, was Andy D'Urso was the ref. And I thought, I really wanted to hit it, I thought it could be that one, because he used to send him off all the time, didn't he? I thought that is class.
I'll tell you what, Arsenal should do something about that, Tierney, because I've seen 2 penalties now he couldn't wait to give. You know what? I'll tell you, and it also cost us for that first goal because Ben White can't make a tackle because he's made a tackle and he's got booked for it. Fair enough. And then that Canati does exactly the same, but worse.
I don't think that was a booking. I
don't think none of them were a booking, if I'll be honest. But he doesn't book him. I'll tell you. And I'll tell you another thing. While I'm on this rant. Have you ever seen Gabriel Jesus get wound up? Never. I've never seen him. He's always smiling on his face. And he did in that game. Do you know why? Because he never got one decision go for him. That pulling him, kicking him, and everything like that. Play on. As soon as they touch that free kick, couldn't wait, and the way he was refereeing that game, that he doesn't get. If that was, I'm telling you this now, if that was the other way round, play on would have been the scenario. There, he would never have given a penalty, Dan. Never would have given a penalty.
No, it's crazy because we're talking about these decisions and Brighton. You imagine, right? If Brighton miss out on Champions League football because of that game. Can you imagine if Arsenal miss out on the title because Lee Mason forgot to draw the lines on?
Yeah.
We're talking about serious things here. This ain't like, it stopped us from getting 11th. We finished 12th instead. Do you know what I'm saying? This is actual serious honours we're talking about here. And for Brighton, not an honour, but wow, Champions League football for Brighton. They'll take that any day of the week. So it's absolutely crazy, if I'm honest with you, mate. But listen, just quickly, mate, want to get your thoughts on it because I ain't spoke to you on here. Does that result, the draw, change your opinions of the title race at all?
Oh, well, yes, it does, because I think now we have got to obviously we've got to win our next 2 games. But even if we won that one, we'd have to win our next 2 games. Saying that we do that, I think now we've got to get a draw at Man City. We've got to get a result at Man City. I think that we could have afforded, if we'd have beaten Liverpool, I think, there'd been a little bit less pressure going on that City game, which have helped. But I honestly think now we need to get something at Man City. I always felt this could happen. But if you're going to win a title, Dan, you've got to go to big teams and get results somewhere along the line, whether it be Tottenham away, Liverpool away, City away, Newcastle away. You've got to go there. So I think that we've got to go and get a result. I think if we lose to Man City, I think that's it. It's all over then. I really do. So a draw or a win. Yeah, it's a really weird thing, isn't it? Because I was talking about this today. If Man City lose that game against us, just say that they do, I don't think people will write them off, right? If we lose that game, we'd be written off, right? Now, if a miracle happens tomorrow and Leicester gets something against Man City, and say they do, right? No one will write off Man City. They say, oh, Man City are still in it big time, like, do you know what I mean? But if we was to slip up against West Ham or Southampton, we would turn around and say that it's done. And I believe it is. And so when I look at that scenario, you've got to say that Man City are favourites, and probably always have been, Dan, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I think that even if Arsenal win and beat Manchester City, I don't think necessarily that guarantees us the title. It puts us in a fantastic position. But I won't come away from the Etihad going, yes, we've won it. Where I think on the other hand, if Man City beat us, they would. You know, so it's
I think if we beat West Ham, Southampton, and Man City, I think it's got to go drastically wrong for us not to win it. Then, you know what I mean? Because 6 points,
you wouldn't stick your ass on it, would you?
Listen, I wouldn't stick my ass on it. It's Arsenal. It's football as well. It's not just Arsenal.
You know, Newcastle away, Brighton at home. Brighton, as you say, like I was very impressed with the way they play. They should have beat Spurs, by the way. Like,
they're the two harder ones, man. Newcastle and Brighton. Everyone's talking about.
They're tough games.
They're the ones, man. They're very, very hard, mate. And it's mad because I spoke to Harry and Tom last night on his channel. We did a chat, and I said this, and I said, if I could give you Everton and Southampton instead of Brighton and Newcastle, you'd probably snap my hand off. But we lost to Everton and we drew to Southampton away. If I give Man City, I don't have Brighton away, I have Forest away. But they drew to Forest 1-1.
Yeah. It's very strange, isn't it?
Anything can happen, mate. You know, like ask you, who would you rather have, Everton and Southampton? You'd go, I fancy that. Brighton and Newcastle.
That's a fantastic point.
You wouldn't, would you? You'd take Everton and Southampton. Well, we lost to Everton and we drew to Southampton. You know what I mean? Anything can happen, mate.
You know, like, this is the thing, you know, Leicester could go and beat, you know, imagine if Leicester go and beat...
new manager bats. John Terry, new manager bats.
Yeah, well, like, you know, it happens to other teams, doesn't it? Like, it happens to us, doesn't it?
Bloody Dutch, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, listen, it'd be fantastic if they can. I'm not counting on it by any stretch of the imagination, but... you know, can Man City go and win every single game, Dan? Can they do it? I think they can. You know what I mean? If I look at it and think that the only team that they could possibly drop points up against is probably us.
I think they can win every game, but I also think Arsenal can win every game. And that's why it really is 50-50, because people say it's in City's hands. Well, it's in Arsenal's hands as well.
Yeah, it is.
This is not all the Man City. And it does kind of get frustrating that the media now have gone, oh, that's it. Liverpool have ruined Arsenal's title hopes. That's it. Man City's in their hands. Well, yeah, it's also in our hands. If it wasn't in our hands, I'd agree with them. I'd say, do you know what? Yeah, fair play. I'm going to say this now. I think if we drop points at St James's Park, if we drop points at the Etihad, I still think we can win the league, because if we draw at the Etihad and St James's Park and win the others, they can win 7-0 every single game.
Really
they can't catch us up. We'll win by a point. So
we can lose a game, one game, and win all the others. So if we lose a Man City and win every other game, we could lose a title. But if we draw there, we can afford to draw at Newcastle and win the league. You know what I mean? Like, and win every other game. Strange, isn't it? It is, mate. It is. I will say this, though, Dan. What a fantastic game it was, and to be a part of that, like, you know what I mean. Normally we're watching it on telly or from the outside in, like, but we're very much in this race. You know what I mean? Very much part of what. And I'll say this now. People are turning around going, oh, you're going to bottle it and all that, right? Okay, right. That's fair enough. Like, well, if we're bottling it with 8 games to go, what's every other team done then?
Mm.
Where's Chelsea? Where's Liverpool? Where's Man United? Where's Tottenham? Where are they? Where are all these teams? Well, Newcastle.
Exactly.
Where are they? There's only 2 It's like the Grand National, isn't it? I know the Grand National's tomorrow. There's only 2.
Yes.
There's only 2 runners left now. All the others have fallen off, and we're the ones that have bottled it. And we're still on the track. We're still running around, but we're the ones that have bottled it.
It's mad because I'll tell you this now, right? It's mad because this is God's honest truth. I have Man United fans laughing because we threw away a 2-goal lead at Anfield. What was the score when they went to Anfield, Lee? 7-0. And they're laughing at us. You got Chelsea fans in an absolute mess at the moment. Oh, Arsenal have probably thrown away their title now. Spurs fans can't wait to start laughing and getting emojis out. They're an absolute circus of a club. So I don't get it, man. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. There's no self-awareness in this league, it seems. There's only Man City fans that can give us banter at the moment. Everyone else just needs to zip it just for this season at least. It's embarrassing.
Exactly that. And the other thing is, Dan, is that what you have to say, I'll say this now, League Cup time, I know we was down to 10 men, right? We celebrated a draw at Anfield, you know, that 0-0. I was in the stands, celebrated it like a draw. Roll on to now, we've got a draw there again, and we're all disappointed.
It's mad.
So it just shows you what the improvement of the team is, that we're disappointed that we got a point at Anfield. You know?
Yeah, you say it like that. It is mad, isn't it? Because, you know, there is a lot of people on the radio as well going, oh, can Arsenal bounce back from their disappointing result at Anfield?
It's
wow.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy. There we go.
Man United win 6-0, lose 7-0. No, that's not a bounce back, you know what I mean? Like, you know. But listen, that's what when you're a top team, I suppose that's what you've got to get. Like, you know, we got criticised, slagged off for the way we got a draw at Anfield. I take that every day of the week because you don't win many games at Anfield through your lifetime. If you look back on it, it's a difficult place to go and play.
Only Leeds have beaten them there this season, which was a freak result.
Freak result.
They beat Napoli there. Newcastle got beat there. City got beat there this season. Man United got thrashed 7-0. So when you look at it, ain't been a shocker, has it? Really ain't. Let's look at this. Dave's put this one up. Mark, big up, Mark. How you doing, bro? Says, gents, what do you think of our season tickets going up to 4% and Fulham putting theirs up by 18%?
I see that today.
18? Has it really?
Yeah, like saying that some of their season tickets are about £3,000. Now, I'm telling you this, a very picturesque place there at Fulham, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that is a lot of money, like, you know what I mean? I'm more in ill coming from, I don't know if you got yours yet for your season, but like they've sort of said like what price it's going to be. And actually, they've said it Champions League's this, Europa League's this, you know what I mean? Because it ain't been sorted out yet. But like, you know, I'm basically saying, well, it's an extra whatever because we are going to get Champions League. If we don't get Champions League from where we are now, I might as well give up, like, you know what I mean? So,
no, that's done, mate. That's done for sure. Lee, I want to talk about a little bit of team news. One player in particular, William Saliba. Now, it looks like he's going to be out for a while, man. I can't lie to you. If you had to ask me how long he's out for, I'll be amazed if he kicks the ball again this season. This don't sound right to me. They're keeping it too under wraps for this to just be a back spasm. Something's gone on. If you had to ask me, I'd say he needs surgery, and they're trying to just leave it and see if he can try and get through a couple of games and then have his surgery in the summer. That's what I think will probably happen. I don't think we'll see him again, mate. So I want to ask you if that makes you a little bit nervous because Rob Holding's come in, done a job, done well actually. But can he do it throughout the whole season for you, Lee? And is that going to be a big miss? Because I think it will be.
Yeah, I think it's massive. Look, if we're going to beat Man City and we're going to win this league, we need all of our top players playing week in, week out and in those big games. And if you look back to the big games this season, Man United away, no Thomas Partey. Man City at home, no Thomas Partey. Liverpool away, no Saliba. Like, you need your top players down, and he's a top player. I'm with you on this, like, you know. Listen, I've had back injuries when I played football, back spasms and things like that, and I can hardly walk when I've done it. A couple of trips down the osteopath. and you're back up and running once you get the spasm out and everything like that. I can't believe that with all the treatment and week in, all that they've got there, if it's a back spasm or a back injury, that should be sorted out now, ain't it? Unless it's a crack or something. You know what I mean? Now, if it is and he needs surgery, you got to have the surgery, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what's going on, Dan. Why they're keeping it quiet and all that. And I'm not being horrible. If they think, right, we might need an operation in the summer, we're giving him a game now, trying to get him through. He ain't going to be 100% fit, Dan. So I'm just really worried about it. Like, you're either, like he's saying, we're pushing him.
Would you rather just know? Like, we'd rather him just say, look,
well,
unfortunately, his season's over.
Yeah, I would. Does it, you know what I mean? It's like, is it, well, our team's going to be worried because he isn't going to be playing? I don't really know on it, listen, if he doesn't play against Southampton next week, you don't play against Man City. You can't play without going for 5 weeks and then come back and play against Man City. Can't do it then, unless they're keeping it. If they're keeping it quiet, I don't really understand it. No, I don't even know what is it. Is it a back injury? Someone's told me it's a knee injury. Someone's told me it's an. I don't even know what it is.
Well, someone told my mum at the Palace. She just put it in the chat actually at the Palace game that he needs back surgery and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. That's what my mum was told, but I don't know how true that is. Why don't they just come out and say it? Unfortunately, we've lost Saliba for the season. And then everyone knows and everyone can just get on. Otherwise, we're all left in the dark, aren't we? No one knows what's going on. We don't know what has happened. Some people said his groin, his hamstring, his back. He needs surgery. He don't need surgery. He might be fit for Anfield. He's not going to be now. Might be fit for West Ham. Not going to be now. Just tell us. Just say, look, he's out for the season. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not looking good. But we move on and we'll see you next season. Thanks for your help. And then we stick with Holding because there's nothing else we can do really. We ain't got anybody else to come in. So that's that. Listen, Lee. What do you make of Mikel Arteta's in-game management? Because people have questioned it against Liverpool. And I kind of agreed when I was listening to some of the comments from Tom and Harry and some of the others that, to be fair, I've stuck up for Mikel quite a lot, and rightly so. But questioned it. Left Zinchenko on for way too long. I mean, way too long. 87 minutes when they scored, and he took him off and seeing he come on. And I thought, might as well have just not bothered after that. For me, Jorginho was crying to come on. He's press-resistant midfielder. We didn't see him. Odegaard was ineffective all game. Saka, ineffective all game. Take him off, not Jesus off. I understand Jesus was tired, but so was Saka. He was running to the ground. Just either of them. One of them had to come off. Kiwior, not quite sure about that, but at the same time, if you do want to go 5 at the back, he's your only option as a centre-back. And I don't know. I felt like it was all a bit wrong, really, in the second half there. And we were lucky to get away with a point thanks to Aaron Ramsdale, Lee.
Yeah, look, listen, Mikel's got it right 9 times out of 10. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, I looked at the game and you could see that things needed changing. Just change it up a little bit. And also, even just if you make a change, 5 minutes from the end, just disrupt things and everything like that. The Tierney one, I think he probably could, in hindsight, you'd say, yeah, he could have brought him on about 10 minutes earlier. And my feeling was that we was under the pumps and we needed to defend, right? So, yeah, bring on a centre half, but still playing your left back in midfield. I didn't really understand that. Just bring on Tierney. We're 2-1 up. We ain't going to look to win the game. Just see it out. I don't really understand why he done that. And then if you look at it, Dan, if you was to say who's the better defender, it is Tierney. And of course, then he gets mugged off, and the rest is history. So you look at it and you just turn around and go, okay, hindsight is a wonderful thing. We got it wrong there. But for me, the substitution of Odegaard was a strange one. You've brought Jorginho in for experience and everything like that, and knows what it's like to get through and win titles and win big trophies and all that. I just think it would have been better to just bring him on in the last 10 minutes and just shut up shop from midfield, try and get a little bit of domination in the midfield. And so why bring him, you bought him I think for 10 minutes here and there like that as well. And I think that was a weird one to do. Listen, Mikel's not above criticism, and that's all it is. It's observation and criticism. And at the end of the day, no one's going to go mad about it. It was something that perhaps he'll learn from as well. And I think that his substitutions this season have been unbelievable at times. I've been praising of them, like the Nelson one for Smith Rowe comes to mind when we get the points there. And he's done it really well and all the time. I looked at the thing with Jesus, and I'll be really honest. I felt he'd gone 10 minutes, 15 minutes before that physically. Probably should have come off before then, because once he physically went, we lost our control. We couldn't have the ball. We weren't holding the ball up and things like that. And this is where Eddie could come in is important in a game here, to come on in that sort of stage when he is tiring a little bit, So, listen, I think he made mistakes in that game. He'll probably look back at it and all that. But, he could have brought on those substitutions, and he has done in the past. Rob Holding, I remember, has come on and we played a back five and we've seen it out. And you think, oh, that's great stuff and all that. Not every time the substitution is going to work, Dan, you know what I mean?
No.
So I think at the end of it, you have to accept it, that it just didn't work. The Kevio one, I don't really understand what that was about, really. He had a fucking nightmare when he come on, didn't he?
Straight away, I thought.
Straight away, Nunes going straight through. So that's what I'm saying, mate. I'll tell you what, though, he's got some pace, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quick, mate.
Quick.
So when he did it at Old Trafford, he brought on M3 and it just killed the game. And I thought, oh, what? Come on, learn.
Yeah, a little bit like that,
A little bit naive again,
Yeah, just.
We got away with it. We got away with it. I mean, listen, I've got to talk about him, mate. Our goalkeeper's outstanding, isn't he? Jesus Christ! I was so stunned by how good he was, and sometimes I feel like he goes under the radar, Lee. He's one that no one really talks about. Everyone wants to big up Alisson and Edison and talk about Nick Pope and talk about Emi Martinez.
They think's better. The people
brilliant,
think Nick Pope's better than
this. Jordan Pickford's better. Jordan Pickford's the number one. It is crazy now. This has got to stop now. I'm sorry. I'm all for a debate. I'm all for opinions, and I've got nothing wrong with people telling me that Alisson and Edison are better than Ramsdale, because in the last 4 or 5 years, they've been two of the best goalkeepers in the world. But after that, Aaron Ramsdale, debate over. Nothing else to talk about other than that. It is literally Aaron Ramsdale, and he has made world-class saves. Made another one, not the one at the end with Kenyatte, because he's just got anything under it. Do you know what? That Salah one is world-class, mate. That was absolute world-class. Tips that pass, and for me, he saved us the points. And not just this game, Lee. At Bournemouth, he saved us the points. Villa saved us the points. I can think of unbelievable saves that he's made. Yeah. But for
England's
me, mate,
number one, then
100% should be, mate.
England's best goalkeeper. Pickford's done nothing wrong here, really, to England to be dropped. So I get that. I do actually get that. I don't stick up for Southgate that much, as you know, but I think it's coming to the stage now where, somewhere along the line, it's like when Harry Kane was coming into the England team, he was banging in goals and all that. Rooney had to step aside. As good as he was, Rooney, that he had to step aside because Kane was coming through. It's the case now. That Pickford's a good goalkeeper. But Pickford has reached his
nowhere near
level.
Ramsdale.
Yeah, he's reached his level now. But Ramsdale can go on for me, you know what I mean? And I think if you was a genuinely a top manager, you'd make that difficult call now, which is a difficult call, but it's the right call. Aaron Ramsdale now is England's number one, and that's not me being biased. I don't care whether he plays for England or not now, really. Part of me is glad that he don't. But for me, he is England's number one now, without a doubt. But then again, the best right back in the country at this moment is Ben White. I tell you what, he had a poor game by his standards, I thought.
Because he got booked, though, Lee, I reckon.
Yeah, because he got booked early.
His game was done.
But everybody's on him, aren't they? Everybody wants to have a little go at our Benjamin. You know what I mean? I watched Reece James the other week, who they reckon's the best right back in, and I'm not having a go at him by any chocolate, mate. I thought he was woeful.
He was woeful, mate.
But nothing said. Woeful. You know what I mean? So there you go. And look at the witch hunt for Xhaka. Unbelievable. Garth Crook saying what he's got. So what's he got to do with you?
He is hopeless, isn't he? I personally felt like he was a silly boy and he shouldn't have got involved.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not blaming him for the result. If you want to blame him or that incident, you can do for the way it got the crowd up. That's absolutely fine. I'll have that all day long. But I'm not saying that we drew 2-2 because of Granit Xhaka. That is nonsense.
No, it's ridiculous.
Got us back into the game, yeah. Okay, fair play. I can have that if you want, but I'm not having the. They then went down the other end, missed a penalty. Ramsdale kept us in. There's too many other things, man. But yeah, silly boy. Trent did him one. He knew him. Trent thought, I tell you what, we're losing this. I'm going to pick on their vulnerable player. Let's wind this guy up. Boom, done. Job done. Goal.
Would he do that in the tunnel?
So that's happening.
Well, do that in the tunnel.
He'd be protected on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's protected.
Still, it's one of those, man.
Not happy
with him.
Not happy with
one of those. Listen, big up AFC Max. Become a YouTube member. If you do want to become a member, then please make sure that you do so. You can click on the link in the description. We have got West Ham at the weekend, which means we get our West Ham fan on.
Conference boys are in town.
The conference boys are in town. Mr. Lawless. What are you saying, man? You good?
Listen, I was trying to delay this. It's funny with Arsenal flying high now. I've been offered on every Arsenal channel going. Now Arsenal are top of the league and we're in the mud.
You are in the mud. God. But Dan, you had a good result last night, mate. You got a draw. Well done, mate. I hope you're all right. How'd you get over that? Pop the champagne out and all that? Was that?
What nonsense did you just say? My audio cut out.
All right. I was just winding you up about your amazing result last night. You must.
Yeah, I knew it.
Sipping champagne.
Yeah, honestly.
In the chat, champagne, mate. 1-1.
No. I know, like, listen, Dan. Old Lawless over there. He don't like the Arsenal. Let's get it right. He don't like us. He
hates the Arsenal.
I'm quite. I want West Ham to do really well in that conference. I really hope that they go on and win it.
Why?
Why? Because I've got a lot of time at West Ham. I feel like they've done us a few favours.
And Tottenham would be in the mud. Come on.
Down the line, they've done us some favours in the past. And
Lasagna Gate.
Do you know what? Big up Lasagna Day, actually, because that was great.
I see that the other day. Like they showed that and said it's fantastic. Like
Yossi Benayoun, Arsenal legend.
And of course, they stopped them winning the league one year. Do you remember that? Like they and they hate Tottenham, so I'm with them.
Yeah,
you hate Spurs more than Arsenal, Lawless, or do you actually hate?
Yeah, no, I hate Spurs. Yeah, more than they're. Listen, I talk about how unbearable Arsenal fans are. I have, right, but at least you've got some reason. At least you've had like recent serious success. They've just got no reason to talk as big as they talk. Honestly, they drive me up the absolute wall. Horrible fans, absolute horrible fans. Can't stand them. And what better way to shut them up than for us to win a trophy this season and them to win absolutely nothing?
And also, Dan, you know what I mean? Like they go, oh, it's only the Conference Cup. Well, that's the one they got kicked out of last year. Like, you know what I mean? Just to say that, you know what I mean?
I'm waiting for them to say that. Do you know why? Because every time I talk to Tobes, he bangs on about that bloody League Cup they won in 2005 or something. I'm sorry, but the Conference League is a bigger trophy than the League Cup. League Cup gets your Conference League. Conference League gets your Europa League. It's a European trophy. I'm not having it, right? Tim Pot, and they're still claiming. That's what I said. You're talking about calling trophies Tim Pot. You're still claiming League Cups, mate. That's all you've got to claim. So, yeah, honestly, I will be unbearable for the.
And also, Dan, you know what I mean? If West Ham go on and win this, it'd be a trophy. It'll be definitely like improvement from last season because that they got from Conference to Europa League. So there's progress. You know what I mean? I know that you're not happy with what's things going on in the league and all that, but it's something that they can build on at West Ham. And I think that. To win a trophy would be, like 1980 was the last time, of course, against us. It's I was still at school. You know what I mean? It's a long time ago. And West Ham do deserve a little bit. Their fans deserve a little bit of success. And I tell you what, Dan, I'm not going to begrudge them it.
I appreciate that, Lee. I appreciate. Listen,
let me ask you this, Lawless, right? Because and I want you to be honest with this, right?
Oh, here we go.
Tobes won't have it. No, it's calm. Tobes won't have this, but I honestly believe this is true. But he will not accept this is true. If Arsenal, right, we're in 7th or 8th, like we've been, to be fair, last couple of years, do you think there'd be a meltdown and crisis at Spurs as much because they'd be above us? Oh, we're going for top 4 and Arsenal are going for Europa Conference, whatever it's called. But he reckons it ain't nothing to do with that because they're fighting for top 4, which they celebrated and run roundabouts with last season when they got it. But they've sacked their manager for it now. Pochettino, we sacked him because he wasn't going to win an FA Cup. Well, Pochettino didn't win an FA Cup, and he was their best. He was held as a hero. So, I think it's funny that Arsenal would sit in top of the league and Tottenham fans don't like it. They got the That's the way I see it, man.
100%.
Look at this. Look at it this way, right? And just to say to that, Lee, right? Remember the season we finished above you and Spurs, right? We finished 6th. I think Spurs were 7th. You finished 8th. There was not as big of a meltdown from Spurs fans that season about being in 7th, further from the Champions League. They were in a worse situation than there is now. So I think they still had that little silver line. No, we still finished above Arsenal.
Thank you.
I think
that is what it is. This
right,
obsession. Obsession to finish above Arsenal. It's absolutely spot on, mate.
Listen, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. You know what I mean? I'm a more of a angrier person when they were above us. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? I get a little bit angry about it, a little bit, lose my head a little bit more because they've been above us and all that. I think it's natural. You know what I mean? But when they have come above us, it's 1 or 2 points, maybe, you know what I mean? Ain't 20. You know what I mean? It seriously angered me. That's enough to turn anybody into a meltdown, isn't it? You know what I mean? We've not just gone over the hill. We've gone over the hill, up round the cliff and over and gone, well, we're miles away from them, you know what I mean? So
if you win the league and we win the Conference League, I fear for them. Tobes is going to go into witness protection program. Honestly, we won't see that geezer ever again.
Oh, that's going to be fun. He won't turn up.
Oh my God!
He'll remove himself from my channel. I think if that happens, he'll be done. Listen, Lawless, let's get your thoughts, mate. We all know what you think of David Moyes, what you think of West Ham right now, but let's concentrate on this game. Can you get anything from this? Is that your place? It's not a nice place to go. I ain't gonna lie. Not just for the reasons of the stadium not being great, but it ain't a place I look forward to going to. I can't lie.
I'm taking my spikes with me, Dan.
But we ain't. But we ain't had some bad results there over the last few years. So I want to get your honest opinion about this one. I know you said you weren't feeling too confident because of the way that you're playing and because of David Moyes. But is there a chance you can nick something off of us, mate?
Look, the point is the only thing I can hope for, right? Is the best I can hope for. And I will be interested to hear both of your thoughts on this. But the way I look at it is this is the game. We've been on Moyes' back every time he's set up for a draw, every time he's gone defensive, gone negative. This is the game to do it. This is the game to park the bus, to frustrate the teams that have either got something off Arsenal or have come close to get something off Arsenal. For the most part, apart from the Man Cities and that, have parked the bus, right? So we have to have our defensive set up solid, but at the same time, and I was literally just saying this on our stream, have outlets. Cornet on the left with the pace, Antonio up top, and Bowen. So you have something to think about. You can't throw players forward with impunity, right? You're going to have a lot of the ball. You're going to be attacking us, but we want to make sure we give you something to think about. So you're not just having all your defense right high up the pitch, having us penned back. You have to think about, there a counter-attack could come. So we're not as much under pressure. That, I think, is the way that we can try and get something out of the game in terms of a draw. But it's still going to be very bloody hard. I don't know what you guys think. If that, from an Arsenal perspective,
I think you're right. I think you're right, mate. And the teams that have got stuff off Arsenal, Everton, even Newcastle with the Emirates come and did that. If West Ham set up like that, that's the best chance of taking something off of us. I agree with you about the pace. I know Skamaka, apparently it's come out today that he's going to be out for a bit and needs surgery. So it'll be Antonio or Danny Ings.
It's got to be Antonio. Can't be Ings, man.
Yeah, exactly. For that game, I agree with you. Cornet being back will help you for sure. maybe Ben Rama or Bowen. But I think this game could be won in midfield for Arsenal because as much as I love Declan Rice and I wind you up about him wearing an Arsenal shirt, I do think that Souček and Paqueta, I think we could dominate that with Xhaka, Partey and Ødegaard. I don't rate Souček. I don't think he's good enough. And
do you think it's better for us to have a back five or three in the middle, three holding midfielders?
Probably a back five because I don't know that you've got three holding midfielders really. I mean, I don't know what Souček is. Flynn Downs would have to come in, would he?
Yeah, it'd be either Downs, Rice, and Paqueta or Souček. Souček, I mean, has defensive capabilities.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
probably the better part of his
the only
game.
thing he can do. Yeah,
it's the only thing he can do apart from headers as well.
Maybe you go with that.
It's just looking at that's going to be the big choice. It's whether to have three DMs or five at the back. I'm leaning towards five at the back with Rice and Paqueta in the middle. That's probably
I think the thing is with three in midfield is you would actually be able to potentially break up some of our midfield play. With the five at the back thing, I think you might get done in midfield a bit, but might be wrong, man. Who have you got at the back? Who would it be? Aguerd, Zuma, and Ogbonna?
Aguerd, Zuma, Ogbonna, yeah.
Yeah, that could be tough to break down. But listen, if you play like you did against Newcastle, I'll be happy because you actually threw the game away, mate. I mean, it was like Fabianski, don't know what he was doing. Aguerd, don't know what he's doing. Like some of them invisible. It was poor. But then, when's the last time you've actually looked at a performance from West Ham and gone, bloody hell, that was an impressive one. Like we played really well there, 1-11. Like it's going back a while, isn't it? Like Moyes ain't done a great job, man, of late.
No, not at all. And I know, Lee, you've been, saying to me for quite a while, he's done a good job before. Stick with him. Listen, we've won 16 games since December 2021. That's how bad it is in the league. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. But David Moyes, his approach to games has been awful. And like I said, when you said that, Potts, apart from like conference games, I can't look and go, wow, like we came out of that was a brilliant performance. Maybe earlier on in the season we had some good performances that we drew or we lost, but we was happy with. But nothing I can actually remember. So that goes to show you. But if we can be shit and shit has a point, I'll take that all day long. He
ain't gonna. Godly.
No, that's the problem. That is the problem at this moment in time for us, and that's the problem with the Southampton game as well. Is that if West Ham got a point on Sunday, they'd be pleased with it because it's a point closer to getting what they want, But for a point, it's no good to us. So, from these next two games, I think it's going to be really difficult for us because what you're going to have is a team like West Ham are going to say, right, break us down. Come and break us down. We're going to frustrate the living daylights out of you. And if you make a mistake, overload somewhere, we're going to exploit that as well, So at the end of it, I think that this game is going to be on a knife edge until Arsenal score. If Arsenal score early, it's a different game. But if we can the longer it goes on, the more and more we're going to get desperate because we cannot afford to draw. A point is very, very good for West Ham, as it will be for Southampton as well. They look at that and go, look, get a point against Arsenal, and then we can get points otherwhere. So it is a real difficult game from that point of view. Now, I do look at it and think that, they're on the back of a game just Thursday playing in Belgium. They're going to be a little bit jaded, I think, and I think that could help us. I even think I think it was against Crystal Palace or Leeds after we played in Europe. First 15 minutes we weren't good, and then we got into the game. So they might need to get their match legs in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then we can maybe get something from there. But I foresee these games being very, 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 very difficult because these two teams we're playing, West Ham, a point. I looked at it last week when someone said to me, what do you think, when they beat Fulham, is that a good thing or not? And I thought, well, it's a good thing that they've beaten them because it gives them an extra few points and all that. But also that Fulham result gives them a point against Arsenal is good. If they lost to Fulham, then like maybe a point here wouldn't have been good enough, and they might have had to come out a little bit more. But by getting that 3 points against Fulham, they look at it and go, 3 points against Fulham, point against Arsenal. That's a good little points over those 2 games. They'd be pleased with that, So I think it's going to be a really, really difficult game on Sunday. I'm not saying I'm not looking forward to it. I think there's going to be a little bit of confidence gone from the Arsenal, because when we've been 2-0, 3-0 up, we've cruised it. We didn't the other day. So if we get 2-0 up, we're not going to be comfortable, if you know what I mean. So it's going to be tough. But I just think that if Arsenal can get in front, we nick it. But these are the games that I fear. I fear for this game and Southampton more than I do City, because I know that City are going to come out at us and we're going to go at them. It's be a bit. Even the Liverpool game, was open, wasn't it? These games are not going to be. So it's going to be difficult.
It is going to be difficult. And something else is going to be difficult, Lawless, is West Ham staying up, because I looked at your fixtures and it ain't pretty in parts, man. Now I think you will. I do. I've said all along I think West Ham will stay up, but I'm going to go through your fixtures quick, man. I want you to tell me what you think of them and what you're expecting from these, right? Right, because you've got from our game right the way through to your last game, which is Leicester, right? So you've got Arsenal, which you're saying you think you could pick up a point, but you're probably
I'm expecting 0, but there's a slim chance if we approach the game the right way, we can get a point. But expectations, I'm expecting 0 points from Sunday's game.
Right. Okay. So next you've got Bournemouth at Bournemouth.
That must win 3 points. Our away form is bad, but I believe that's an away game we can win. We won at Fulham, I think 3 points.
Right, so you got 3 points. Liverpool at home. That is Liverpool at home.
Do you know what? And I think I might have said this on your show on 12th Man Pots. Like, we're the only team that haven't taken a scout from one of the Sky Sports 6 around us. Like Everton have done it, Bournemouth have done it, Leeds, Southampton. We haven't beaten any of these teams. I genuinely think that's the one. That's the one upset we get. So I'm going to hold out and say 3 points against Liverpool. I'm going to put my neck out there.
Wow.
We can't expect, we're not favourites, but...
Wow, listen, they're terrible on the road. They're terrible on the road, Liverpool. They're terrible on the road. So you never know. You got Palace at Palace after that, man. If you don't beat them, D is going to give you a nightmare.
For my own sanity, we cannot lose that game. Because honestly, Lee, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of meeting D, the Palace fan. Oh my God.
Yeah,
honestly,
you met D.
I will never rest.
He's the one in the pub when we went down to London.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. So you remember what it was like then. Honestly, we can't lose. But honestly, I think a point. We won't win at Palace. I think we'll get a point.
Okay. Then you got City at City.
Sorry, lads, but we ain't doing you no favours. That's 0. That's a big fat 0. That's a big fat 0. We could actually have a say on this title, situation.
Good.
Because, we get anything against either of the teams, lose against one, get a point against the other, beat one, lose against the other. We've got a big say.
You'll lose that one. You think you'll lose
both. But yeah, we'll lose against Man City.
But then after that, you got Man United at home.
Man United at home. Oh, we haven't got the best record of them, but this is a great time to play them because Rashford's out. I don't know if he's going to be back for our game. Varane is out. Martinez is out. They've got a few injuries, so I don't know why I'm believing it, but I think a point could be we could get a point at that. So expect a point with the injuries they have, and if they're still in Europa League as well, and they're trying to win that. I think there's point.
Then you got Brentford away. That's tough.
That's a loss. Definitely,
that's a loss. Okay,
and then beat them in the cup, but that was their second team.
Last 2, you got Leeds at home and Leicester away.
Leeds home, win. Leicester away, loss.
So 11 points.
No, Leeds home draw. I can see that being a draw. Leicester away, loss.
So 9 points. You think you're going to pick up 9 points? That's it.
It sounds mad when you.
That don't sound like enough.
I think you pick up more than 9 points.
I do.
You don't think that sounds like enough? 39 points.
Yeah, it'd be enough anyway. Yeah,
9 points.
I think you beat. I think you beat Leeds at home.
And do you know what thing is? You've said 9, and I still don't. I don't think you'll pick up a point at Man United. I don't think you'll beat Liverpool. So it could be 5.
No, so you take. So say I'm wrong about those, but I'm right about all the others, right? So you're taking away 4 points, which gives us 5 points, which is.
That's what I mean. Is that enough?
Well, we'd need to turn Leeds then. Well, then Leeds. Say you give us 2 points against Leeds,
Right.
37 points. I think the threshold's going to be low. 37 points could be enough.
I also think that when it's mattered for West Ham, they've got a result. A couple of weeks ago, Southampton, they had to get a result. They did. Had to get a result against Fulham. They did. I think if it comes to it, they need to get a result against Leeds. They will. I actually think if they need to get a result against Manchester United, they will as well. So I don't think that.
I think they'll beat Leeds and Leicester at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that they will. I think that West Ham have got better players than a lot of teams around there. So that's what I'm saying. If they can get a point against Arsenal, a point against Liverpool, all of a sudden, they're big points. So. But I just think that I actually don't think West Ham are in the relegation worries really. Unless they have I'll tell you, you always get one team that just drops, and it looks like it's Nottingham Forest this season, doesn't it? They've just gone on a nightmare
and
run.
Leicester, wow.
And Leicester, Leicester, believe it or not, Leicester's last win, talking to a Spurs fan today, was fun enough against Spurs, that 4-1 win. It's incredible, isn't it? Oh, Tottenham, the gift that keeps on giving. But there you go.
And the thing is, Nottingham, when you look at run-ins, Nottingham Forest and Everton have the toughest run-ins.
Yes, Everton have got a real tough one. Real tough.
Forgotten about as well. I don't know why, because, they ain't great. It's a Dyche. That's it. If they didn't have Dyche, everyone would tip them to go down.
Oh, they should have kept... they should have just kept Lampard and went down. Do you know the funniest thing was, I don't know if you said this, Richard Keys was saying, what does Nagelsmann know that Lampard don't know? Lampard knows the club inside and out. All Nagelsmann has is a PowerPoint. They should stick with Lampard. I hope they do.
Oh, God.
I hope they do.
Imagine.
But yeah, look, regardless, like I've said...
It'd be funny if Chelsea start flirting with relegation, though, won't it? That will be brilliant. I'd love to see it.
They haven't got to the 40-point mark, have they? That they keeps banging on about. Yeah, we could still finish. If we finish above Chelsea,
can you imagine?
Another season.
And you win that Conference League. Imagine that. My word.
And we're in the Conference League.
That would be mad. I tell you. Listen, before we come to Super Chats, I want to get predictions for the scores for this one. Judges, start with you. What do you reckon, bruv?
I think it's going to be a tough game, 1-0, 2-0. But I just think that we find it hard at first, but then we nick a couple. So I'm going to go West Ham 0, Arsenal 2.
4, snap, mate. I've gone 2-0 all week as well, so I'm sticking with it. I do fancy us. I do feel like we're playing well and West Ham are struggling, so I'm going to go for 2-0 to the Arsenal. Lawless, do you want to do a head and a heart result prediction, or are you going to just go for it?
Well, I did one with Turkish earlier, head and heart, so I'll go with it again. Heart says 1-1 to the West Ham, since we're putting the in front of our team names, right? 1-1 to the West Ham. Or head says 3. Part of me, if I had to bet money, I'd probably bet 3-0 on Arsenal. Realistically, if I took my bias out of it, but do not rule out. I would love to see it. Right, I would love it. Declan Rice winner. The player that Arsenal fans have been twerking for so hard this season, scores the winner that cost them the league title. Would you still want him? Would you still feel the same way about Declan Rice if he cost you the league?
Well, I would.
Might not play. He might be rested.
He might, yeah.
You wish.
He might be going up to Moisey, going, Moisey, I've got a bit of a groin strain here. I need to have a rest.
That's my team. When I want them to win the league, that's my team next year.
Honestly, you've all turned into lip readers and everything. Look, what Rice is saying to flipping Zinchenko, where he's, I'm coming, mate. Honestly.
How much reckon you'd sell him for? 80?
Nah, it's got to be 100, mate. It's got to be 100. Everyone's looking for bargains. I've got Liverpool fans like trying to haggle, like because they're broke, saying like, "Yeah, I'll sell 70 million, lad. 70 mil, lad." Nah, it's not happening.
I reckon it'll be closer to 80 than 100, but we'll see. Might be. We've put 80 and then add-ons, but
There's got to be a
the price
more.
players go for now is who knows? I mean,
What
100
about
million was Anthony, and 100 million was bloody what's his name? Enzo Fernandez was about 120 million or whatever. So God knows what happens.
Do you know what Troop said to me? I'd be interested to see what you guys thought thinking about this. He said to me, 80 million plus Nketiah.
Yeah.
I would actually. I think I'd take that.
I'd take that all day long. All day long.
I could see either Eddie or Bellingham going there. Bellingham maybe on loan to sweeten it.
Who would you rather have, Lawless, out of those two?
Well, do you know what? Nketiah is proven he done really well when Jesus is out. But if we do get Will Still in, get Balogun, double package, eh?
Oh, yeah, of course, because he's the manager out there at Remini.
Yeah, he's the manager of Balogun, so he's got the best out of him. That wouldn't be a bad little shout if we.
And this Will Still's like a big West Ham fan or something. Is that actually right?
Yeah, he loves West Ham. Yeah, he's massive. Like, it's his dream to manage the club.
That could be an option
got him
for you,
Balogun, but I would also take Tierney plus 80 mil. I worry about his injury record, but we need a quality left back. I know you love Tierney.
He won't go West Ham. He's got bigger ambitions than West Ham, mate.
Listen, I'll tell Newcastle. Put in a word. Snodgrass, Scottish football legend.
Snoddy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair play. That's predictions. Listen, we've got some super chats to do before we wrap up. First super chat is from Dave. Chaitanya, of course it is. Big up yourself, Chaitanya. I hope you're well. Lee says Saliba's missing out again. Are you concerned? Holding's been decent, but I just can't trust him versus City. I think I'm with Chaitanya long term, Lee. Rob Holding, it's just not quite the same as Saliba. Do you know what I mean?
No, we need
to make a howler against City though.
Yeah, but we need Saliba. We need Saliba.
Holding long term.
We need Saliba for that game. Like, I also think that his pace and presence also White knows that he's got that little bit of protection behind him as well. Like, I think he's a big loss for us. Like, we need him back, but I don't think we're going to be. So am I concerned? Of course, yeah. It's a big concern. It
is, certainly. Next super chat comes in from AFC Max. Big up AFC Max, new member tonight. Big up Max. Says, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the Liverpool game, drinking outside with a fire pit and some alcohol, taking the pee out of the Liverpool fans next door. Could have done without the stress in a second half. It's not a stressful game, this West Ham one, like that Liverpool one, because trust me, that was not good for the old heart. I'll say that now. Good for the neutral, but not good for the heart, man.
Quick question, Lee, is this, you've seen a lot of title challenges, title wins. Is this one of the most nervous sort of times you've been as an Arsenal fan in a title race?
No, not funny enough. Not really, because you've got that animal of Man City going in there. Like, obviously the 89 one was nervous because we had it won and then we lost it and then we won it back, of course. But listen, even in the Invincible run, there was a little dodgy moment, that Liverpool game, where we was 2-1 down at half time and it was crumbling and we managed to turn it around. You're always going to have difficult moments in leagues, because the reason why is because to win a league's not easy. So you're always going to have some difficult times, and it's how you come through them as a team, as well as a supporter. So listen, that was always going to be a tough game and a roller coaster game, but you're going to get them sort of games. And what happens now is that that game goes, and you have a couple of days where you've got the ump about it, or and then like now you're worried about the next game, and that's how it's going to be, So
I think this one is more nervy than the others, and I'll tell you why. Because we'd already won them before. Arsene Wenger had won 2 already. We ain't done it with this manager. We ain't done it with this team. It's nervous.
Ain't done it in a long time either.
Ain't done it in a long time. This one for me is the most nervous one. Yeah, and if we can say it could go wrong. We could lose the next 2 and we're out of it all. You know what I mean? So who knows?
We had some nervous moments in that 98 one, but we went to Anfield and won then, you know what I mean? Like, and
Old Trafford and
Old Trafford and won. And once we won that Old Trafford, that was it.
Agreed.
The Robert Perez goal at Anfield, when we was in I think we was losing that game 1-0, come back 1-2-1. So listen, you are going to be nervous because if you slip up, even a draw against West Ham is probably going to be fatal in the title race because you can't. There's no room for failure. You know what I mean? Like this Man City team are relentless.
Well, it's in their hands as much as it is yours.
Yeah, it is now.
They win every game, they win the league. If you win every game,
I think that's where it's very. I think if Arsenal don't win the league, you can look back at that Brentford game, of course. You know what I mean, when mistakes are made, but I think it come down to this game. I think at Anfield I think we needed to win that game. I really do. I still think that we've now got to go to City and get something, and that's going to be tough. But if we'd have beaten Liverpool, we could have actually, if we can beat West Ham, beat Southampton, we could have actually gone I think 11 points going into that game at Man City, and that would have been enough. So I think it'd probably be the one fatal for us, but we've got to go. Listen, we're capable of going to Man City and get something, so I'm confident at this moment in time that I'm more worried about these two games than I am City at this moment in time, maybe because City's further away down the line. But it's no good like losing to City and losing to West Ham and dropping points against Southampton and then getting the same at Man City. It's no good. You know what I mean? We've got to nail these two games first, and then let's see where it goes from there.
Fair play, man. Last super chats from AFC Max. Lawless, I'll give this one to you. It says, hey, Dan and Lee, since I live overseas, where in the West Ham ground are the Arsenal away fans located?
So it's the Trevor Brooking stand behind the goal, wedged in between the home fans there. It's behind the goal. I don't know what the entrance is on it, but yeah, they are.
To the left. You have to go to the left.
As you come to the left, once you come on the bridge.
Above the stage, which is always nice to look down at.
Well, it depends. If you get the cheapo tickets, right? In the gods, you got to get your tickets in early, get the front pots. But I've heard that I heard it's not great from away fans' perspective in the away end at London Stadium.
Awful.
There's a lower. I've been in the lower and the upper, and the upper one. Put it this way, you need binoculars. You know what I mean? It weren't great. You know what I mean? And when you're in the lower bit, you sort of like level with it's a weird ground. I've got to say.
What was wrong with Upton Park? That's what I say. What was wrong with Upton Park?
You're talking one of the great grounds, Upton Park, one of the iconic football grounds, and that was a sad day when one of my favourite away grounds, West Ham, because. We always done quite well there, but the atmosphere there when that was rocking was great. And the last game there was with the Andy Carroll hat-trick when it was 3-3. It was an absolute corker of a game.
Do you know what? It's so funny you say that, Lee. You was at that one, weren't you?
Yeah.
Remember Satsuma?
He got so much, didn't he? Like, yeah, I mean, like,
there was a geezer, and he was funny enough.
An orange coat
same
on.
Colours as Lee. He had an orange coat. It was brilliant, right? All the Arsenal fans were going because Arsenal were winning. Satsuma, right? And then we scored. We took the lead, and all the West Ham fans were lifting him up. Going, hey, Satsuma, back to the Arsenal fans. It was fucking brilliant, and that's what it was like. The chicken run there to the left, of the away fans, and then you had the Trevor Brooking on the other side, with either side of the away fans. It was brilliant. The banter was great.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, now we've got a wall between the fans. I don't know if you've seen this.
Crazy.
Where the away fans are behind the goal, where you sit, there's the block 113, which was the chicken run. It was called the chicken run. We're there, and they put a big wall up between it, so the fans can't see each other. So the interaction's gone between the hardcore West Ham fans and the away fans, which is another thing that's hurt the atmosphere. It's a massive, if you go in on Sunday, you'll see it. This massive claret wall that's blocking.
Really? I never knew that.
Bizarre, isn't it?
That's a shame because it's always been a good banter between West Ham and Arsenal. When you come out and you got the notorious alley out on the left hand side as you come out and all that, where Arsenal fans could go down it, but Tottenham fans can't. You know what I mean? It's a great little alleyway that leads out it's through the estate onto the high road.
There's been some hairy moments down that alley. I tell
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Right,
If you know, you know. And it was always a great. Like I always said with West Ham, even back in the 80s when it was very, very notorious there, that you come out and you just had to behave yourself. Respect where you was. And you was all right. Do you know what I mean? If you didn't take liberties, you was all right. Like, do you know what I mean? And always been a tough place to go and get results. And but what an atmosphere there! What an atmosphere at that ground. Such a shame that it's not there no more. It is a shame.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking
For sure, man. For sure. Listen, Lee, you're going, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be going.
Oh, cool. I can't make this one, but I am sure you'll enjoy it, mate. And Lawless, you'll be there, I guess.
Yes, yeah. I'll be there for better or worse. I might see you after Lee. And listen, one of us is going to have a grin on their face because I tell you what, if we even get a point, that's going to be like a win to me. I'll be celebrating.
Exactly that night. Let's hope that the Gooners are smiling and you can carry on and win the Conference League and stay up, and that'd be good for me.
Yeah. But you know what? I do 2 shows.
Let us beat you. And then you go and beat Man City. I'll be more than happy, you know what I mean?
The thing is, Lee, I do 2 shows a week with Potts, right? And he's been unbearable this season. I just need 1 week where I can just give it to him, right? And he's in the mud, he's down in the dumps, and I need that. It's been a long season with this man. I need my day.
It's gone well, man. Do you think we'll do it, Lawless, or do you think City?
Do you know what? I was really starting to... I sort of resigned myself to thinking Arsenal was going to do it. But that Liverpool result, and I looked at it and I thought, it's in Man City. Man City, it's in their grasp now. And you've got to go to the Etihad. I mean, part of me feels like there's a part of me that feels that you could get a historic win there. Like, you can still do it. But I'm leaning a little bit more towards Man City because they've got that X factor of Haaland. And they're in the groove. And Liverpool fans have seen this a few times now, where they just do it.
Done it before, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly it's hard to call. And I think that's a credit to you lot that it is so close to call at this stage.
Yeah.
It's tough. But everything seems to have gone your way for the most part. So I think you've still got a very good chance. But Sunday, we'll all be feeling very differently if you drop any points on Sunday. Like, honestly, do you think you'll win? Do you think you'll beat Man City at
No, I think we'll get a draw.
I think we can beat them, but draw. Yeah. It's fine. If we don't lose to them, then we're still all right. If we lose, I think it could be, wow.
The problem is, because we're on if they won every single game but drew to you, they still win the league, right? Because you draw. They've got a game in hand.
If they draw, we win it. If
they draw, yeah.
If we draw and they draw and we win, but they win every game, we win every game. We win it.
We win because we're 3 points ahead, aren't we? We're 6 points ahead, but obviously they've got a game against you to go 3 points.
Oh yeah. So they do. So, okay.
We can actually draw to them and draw one more. As long as we win the rest, we'll be fine because we'll win it by a point.
Okay. Yeah. So basically
we can drop points to Newcastle and Man City. And
that's a cup final for you, basically.
Yeah, it is.
It's very similar, funny enough. Lee mentioned it earlier. It's very similar to when we had to go Old Trafford in '98. It's very, very similar to that when Mark Overmars scored. In it, Lee. It's very similar to that.
Similar to that.
It's the same.
Obviously, going to Anfield, if you look at Arsenal, when they've won titles, they've won it at White Hart Lane. They've won it at the Old Trafford. They've won it at Anfield. Come on.
That's the way. Listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Make sure you head over to West Ham.
I think you got one last super chat there.
Oh, have we? Oh, have I missed one? What's the next one? AFC Max again. Emirates food or the West Ham food?
Well, I don't like jelly and eels. There you go.
You got caviar in that up there.
We've got steak, Lawless. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have it. Jelly eels and cockles and winkles and all that crap. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, the food at London Stadium is bad. It's
really
bad.
I would never eat in it. I own some of it. I've obviously in hospitality. I've not had hospitality in West Ham. Funny enough, I know a friend who had something to do with West Ham, but I could go to hospitality there, but I've never done it, like, you know. So I'll stick to the away end.
There's a rumour going round all this that Lee's going to invite me to hospitality one day in the next 10 years. You know what I mean? It's coming. I've heard it's coming.
It's
That's
coming.
what I've been told. There's a
It is
rumour
coming.
going around that it's
You're
coming.
on the list, Dan. You're the next one on the
It's
list.
coming home.
You're on the list.
You've got to be
Listen,
done.
it has to be done, man. I ain't been up there. I've been on the old club level, but I ain't been old darting.
We'll get you in there, Dan. We'll get you in there.
I'd love that, mate.
It's
I'd love
great
that, man.
for cup games and stuff like that. I've always found it, the games where the atmosphere is not going to be as good, but like London derbies, big games, you want to be in the mix.
Yeah, you want to be in the mix. You want to be in the mix.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Lawless, West Ham Fan TV and at the Lawless on all socials, and you'll see Lawless on my channel on Football's 12th Man podcast every week, getting rinsed by Tobes and me and all the others, and
me against the world.
Tobes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it is at the moment, mate. It is. But listen, it might be next year, mate. It might be that you're on another channel, you're on another show, mate. Unless you win that Conference League, brother, you got to win that Conference League. Big up for coming on, though, Dan. Top man as ever.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Majorly appreciate it. No, always welcome, man. And Lee, always a pleasure, my friend. Enjoy it Sunday. Enjoy it. We will be in touch. And hopefully we'll pick up the 3 points, my friend. Make sure that you all smash a like, please, on the way out. We're our next target is 40k, so make sure you get our likes and subscribes up. If you can, come and follow me. I hit 8k the other night, which was great. So if you can come and do the same for me, that would be amazing on Football's 12 Man podcast. We'll see you next time, and until then, up the Arsenal. Take care, people. Peace.
Come on, you Irons.